Up a little 1 and 64 ounce jig. I know it's hard to see because it's so super small right now, but this is deadly whether you're a bluegill fisherman, a crappie fisherman, a trout fisherman in the streams and creeks. Black and orange are two great, what I would call natural colors, especially the black. That'll work for just about any species that you may be out there targeting. And setting this up with ultralight 4 to 6 pound test, maybe a float above it, a strike indicator above it if you're fishing in those streams, and it is a killer. And the material we're using today, hey, I've got a bunch of these right here. This is a black one. I call them hurry balls. And you can pick these up like at Joann's is where I got this one at. You can get them like in a gray, like a shad color, red, black, white, and they're like $3 or $4 for these. I got this on clearance here for like $3, and you can tie a lot of jigs. I've even used this material for my smallmouth jigs that I fish with in the river. But these smaller jigs like this right here, or a smaller fly, hey, this stuff looks amazing in the water compared to the coarser type bucktail. Don't get me wrong, I've got a ton of different colors of bucktail. It works great. But when it comes to smaller jigs, or I can get away with a bigger jig with synthetic hair, number one, it's cheaper. Number two, it looks better in the water in my opinion. And that's what I like going with. So let's tie up this little buggy looking black 1 and 64 ounce all around jig. Okay, let's get this jig tied up. We're using a black thread today. We're going to run all the way down to right where that bend of that hook gets ready to turn. And then back up to about to the tip end where the barb of the hook is there. Okay, the next thing that we want to add, guys, this is by Do It. This is some rubber skirting. And it's kind of got that grizzly look to it. It's got some gold flash in it. So we're just going to go ahead and remove one of these strips right here. You just have to pop them off. And we're going to go ahead and lay these right on the side of the shank. We don't want these to come back far at all, just barely past the bend of that hook. We'll give him a couple loose wraps here just to lock that side in. And then we'll just bring it right over the shank. And then we'll just pinch them together. And then we'll just give them some tight wraps down through there. Keeping them right on the side of that shank. Then we're just going to cut this one to match the first one. And that's what we're looking for right there. Then at this point, we're going to go ahead, lock it in with some tight wraps. Work our way right back up to behind the jig head. And then the next thing that we're going to be adding is this is a hurry ball. Okay, so what I usually do is just get a small pinch of it. Kind of measure out how much I need here. And then we'll just go ahead and we will get this cut. Then we're going to lay this right back behind that jig head. Kind of push it down over the shank. And I like giving maybe just a small loose turns right there. Well, no small ones, but loose turns. And then at this point, I'm just going to push forward a little bit. I'm going to make sure this goes all the way around that shank. So push forward and push down. That way it won't come out from under that collar when you're working with it. There we go. And then we're just going to give him some real tight wraps there, locking him in. It's looking good right there. Now the next thing that we're going to be adding to this is some flash. We've got some orange here. It's got a little bit of chartreuse in it. We're just going to use one strand on each side of this tie right here. So what we're going to do is just lay our jig over. Bring it right back to where that hair ends. Get it right on the side of that small shank on that collar. Give him a couple loose turns. We'll get this side clipped off. And then we're just going to flip it over and repeat the process right on the other side. Right back to where that hair ends. Couple loose turns, make sure we got him lined up the way we want him. That looks pretty good. And then we're going to go ahead and get this trimmed off from behind that jig head. Now at this point I'm going to pinch it all together, and I'm just going to build this collar up and lock that flash in. Guys, this is an awesome little jig right here for bluegill and stuff. I cannot stress it enough. You need to try this. Put this below a little small floater, or if you're out there in a boat jigging down in that brush and weed beds, hey, it's a killer. Also, it's great for trout. Be good for crappie. We're going to do about 4 or 5 turns with the whip finish here as it tries to come out of my vise. Well, things happens. I didn't have him tightened down good, so we'll lock him in. Seat that thread. Minor situation. It is what it is. And then we're just going to go ahead, put our UV resin on. I'm just going to go all around this collar here because I like the shininess that this adds to this little jig. Plus it's going to lock all this in for us. And we won't have to worry about a bluegill turn none of our material off. Hit it with that UV light. So I hope you enjoy the video, guys. Give us a thumbs up if you like it. Subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to check the playlist out down in the description. Go to Joann's. Get you some of this fiber right here, guys. Some of this synthetic hair. And you can tie a ton of jigs. It comes in like 4 or 5 different colors you can pick up there. Until next time, stay safe out there on the water. See you right back here at Hills and Gills.